everybody. It's me, Timothy Long. It's been a while since me and Greg have done a podcast. I'm Tim,
And I'm Greg.
and we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Now, we don't really have um, a lot of details to go on with everything we want to talk about. It's kind of along the way, I suppose. What things do you think we should talk about today, Greg?
Oh, we can talk things about today's society, careers, how things are going, anything general, everyday life, I guess.
Um, did you hear about that craft made to go see the Titanic? Apparently, a couple billionaires were on board.
Yeah, I've been actually following that a little bit.
I don't know too much about it. Apparently, they only got like a day left of air left, and they don't know where they're at. Not to sound mean, but the literal controller of the craft is a fucking video game controller,
No, I didn't know that.
and the lead architect who created the fucking thing, he got fired because he said it was only meant to go to like 1,500 feet, not over 4,000 feet.
Hmm.
And I don't know, you might see some lawsuits, and you might see some people trying to go down to the ocean and get their wallets. That's what the memes are going on. Not that I hope they're okay or I hope everything's going to go well, but oh, I can't wait till they sink. I'm going to grab their wallets.
Yeah, I never
It's
thought
like, how
that.
do you even fucking know they brought their wallet?
Right.
You think for being millionaires or billionaires, whatever the fuck they were, you think they would be smarter and think, hey, I fucking got it. The last thing's just on the back. You think they would say, hey, maybe, again, just maybe, this isn't a good idea. And, well, that's not what they did, right?
No, I totally agree with you. I don't think they really planned all this out very well.
Me neither. Apparently, there was some controversy about a stepson of one of the billionaires posting on Instagram. I don't know if he was actually with them or he is with them or what's going on. It's all very jumbled. It's not in the news. Like, I only found it on like Facebook, like people making posts, not like you know how Google usually shows the main like pages of news.
Yeah.
I haven't found anything.
I haven't myself because usually that stuff pops up on my stuff too, and it's been really kind of quiet on at least on my end with some of the private stuff and stuff what's going on, even with this incident it's going.
Well, let's move on to other news, I suppose. Um, I was watching a video lately,
Hmm.
and I'm sorry. I was watching a video lately about this preacher,
Okay.
and he said that a lot of young men now are isolated, they're sexually frustrated, it's harder to get good jobs to where they can make a living and actually have a family. It's harder to meet girls nowadays. It's harder to maintain friendships or even make friends. And he said, back in the day when he was younger, This was like the 50s, 60s. He said that it was easier for men to meet girls, easier to make friends. They weren't as isolated. They could actually protect the family. They could actually work a job. And now they can't do that. He said it's dangerous in society to have a lot of sexually frustrated, invisible men.
Mm-hmm.
He said nobody wants that. He said hookup culture has replaced courtship. And he said that a lot of the best looking men get most of the women, and a lot of women don't pay attention to the invisible men. A lot of men don't even want kids or even want to date anymore because of that. And a lot of men are becoming what you would call an incel. They're becoming frustrated. They're becoming angry. They're becoming bitter. And then he's like, oh, we need to bring back this. Of course, he brought up religion. He's a fucking pastor. It had a lot to do with religion. And, if we bring back religion, girls will become modest again. They won't be as horrid or as disgusting as in his view that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Men can become good men again. And I think he's out of his fucking mind. Like, why the fuck would I want a lot of religion to be brought back? Are we forgetting how religion was when their claws were extended, when they had all the power, all the people taken over, forced to convert, killed in the name of God or Allah or whatever the fuck you believe in?
Mm-hmm.
All the mistakes that were made, all the crusades, all the people tortured, enslaved, all the missionaries, it's all horseshit. Now, I understand his point on the lonely men and how it's only going to get worse, and women aren't totally the cause of it, but they're a lot of the problem. And of course, you can't just lay blame on any singular women.
Right.
But he said that feminism and a lot of the toxic shit you see against men nowadays is one of the causes. And, I agree. There's a lot of hatred towards men. Just a lot of men are getting ignored. Like, I understand it. And I understand women wanting the best guy possible, the best guy to have kids with, the hottest guy. Like, hey, go get your bread, sister. But, it's why a lot of women are ending up single and bitter and alone as well. It's why there's a lot of single mothers.
Yeah.
Because, Greg, they don't want the good guy. They want the guy they can't have, the guy that doesn't want her.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right, but, I understand both sides.
Yeah.
And, nobody wants to, of course, nobody wants to admit it. They'll just say, oh, that's wrong or that's not true. And it's like, if you really look at it outside your point of view, it honestly is. And it's only going to continue to, get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Nah, I don't think there's anything really anybody can do about it. It's already too widespread. I think it's, done with, I guess.
Yeah. And the social media, I feel, is a big part of it too.
Yeah. Nothing can be done about that either. Perfect. There's honestly nothing that can be done, if you will.
No.
And what's even worth putting in the time to change? I think it'd be easier for people to just go, now I've heard of WGTOW, women going their own way,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't work the same way. It really doesn't. Because women have an easier time dating. They have more of a wide selection of partners. People will care about them more, pay more attention to them, and they will be cared about more.
Right.
Another one that can choose the father, yet there's a lot of single mothers out there, because you're telling me most single mothers were raped? Nah, that doesn't even make any fucking sense. It's because a lot of women have poor taste in judgment. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And of course they could say, oh, we didn't know he was that way before we started dating him. And then it's like, why do you have multiple baby daddies? Of course you're going to blame the dad. Well, how many of those actually told you, hey, I don't want to be a dad? I bet you quite a good percentage. And yet you kept the child because you wanted to keep him around, or you didn't believe in killing it, or whatever bullshit you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it all. It's almost happened to me, but thankfully, she never got pregnant. It's just not what it once was.
Oh, no, not at all.
You're going to continue to see birth rates dropping. WGTOW, or whatever the fuck they want to call it, women going their own way. That's just feminism. That's just feminism in general.
Mm-hmm.
You got your cats, you got your animals. Leave the men alone. Stop hating. Stop bitching about men and the patriarchy. That's part of the reason why you're single. Why would a guy want to date you if you're just bitching about men all day, saying how they're all rapists and they're all shit? MGTOW makes more sense, because for men, it's ingrained in their brain to want to protect women, right?
Right.
It's engraved in their brain to want to protect women, children, and to provide for them, you know?
Right, yeah.
And women are engraved with hypergamy, which means they want the best male possible, the best way to pass off their young. It has really nothing to do with love. Love was never really a part of continuing the species, honestly. It was just something that came up later on with Disney and all the poetry. It was never really about love. Now, was there love in some of these relationships? Yeah, because back in the day, you had to work together to survive, not just, oh, the man does this. Nowadays, both people got to work again, but why is marriage going downhill? Let me guess, do you think it's the man? No. 2/3 of all marriages, the divorce is initiated by women.
Mm-hmm.
There's no plus. A lot of them get custody, unfairly, might I add. A lot of them get alimony and child support, and they get half your shit, even though they never worked a day in their life to get it. They can get your pension. They can get your car. They can get your invaluable items like your grandmother's ring. You know, there's a lot that they can do, and I find that to be sad, you know?
Right, yeah.
It's a very sad thing. Because, honestly, there's not a lot you can do about it.
No, you can't.
I don't agree with it happening, but I see it happen every day, you know? The dude didn't even see it coming, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't see it coming. Loved his wife, loved his family. And then she found someone better, or she cheated. And, well, guess what happened?
Yeah, and there's no explanation whatsoever.
You know, that drives some men out of their brain.
Right.
Deliver instructions, Castari Q. Side door, White House, green trim, red barn.
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't happen to women, because it does. You know, say a girl comes home and She wants to check her husband's phone, which is also wrong, but I understand. And she sees messages from a random girl. It's the mistress, you know, a tale as old as time. The husband had a mistress.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the funny thing is that women, men are honest about it. Women like to act like they don't cheat, or there's always some explanation, like, oh, no, I didn't cheat. You just never gave me enough sex, or you weren't big enough. No, like, there's always some excuse. Very few women actually take accountability for their actions. Society lets them get away with so much. Like double standards, sexism, less jail time. No man in America can walk up and accuse a girl of raping him without the police laughing in his face.
Mm-hmm.
But a girl that doesn't know you, Greg, can walk up to you and say, he fucking raped me. He's a scumbag. She doesn't need any evidence. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. They will arrest you and interrogate you on the spot.
Right.
She can accuse you of touching your own child, even if you weren't there. She don't need any proof, Greg. She can accuse you of anything, domestic violence. She don't need any proof. She can beat herself up.
Right.
Girls can do some wicked shit, and nobody believes me when I say they're just as bad as men, maybe even worse, because they're not just gonna straight up beat your ass. They play more fucking mind games, and they're really good at it too.
Yeah.
And people seem to not believe me when I say women have a lot more power than men. They think, oh no, patriarchy, men have a lot of power. It's like, what power does a fucking man have over a woman besides physical? And depending on their relationship, financial. What power does he have? He doesn't control the sex. Most women, 2/3 of like all shopping in the United States is done by women. They don't control the economy power. More women are graduating from college than men, which probably shows they're dumber because they're spending more and being in more debt.
Mm-hmm.
Women are working just as much, maybe even more than men nowadays. What power do men have over women? What they want is the reward of being a man, but not the responsibility, and that's what angers me.
Yeah, I see that too.
Hello! Oh, yes, we got the black fox on the tail. Yeah, I know, it's been a while. I know, I don't see too many of you. I can't fit up there, dog. You're like maybe in my younger days. Alright. Got 3 for you. Okay. They just the way they pack it, they just put it on top of each other. Where did they put it? Indeed they are. What are they again? Oh, so. Gotcha. Ain't nothing in here for you, dog. One in here? Have a good day, brother. Like I said, that's kind of the gist of Newtown.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of men are doing it. They've seen their grandfathers, their fathers, hell, maybe even their great grandfathers, about since 1950 go through this. Because before World War II, it was still more religious, more conservative, and it wasn't as viewed in the best light if you were divorced.
Right.
Now they don't care. It's so rampant because there's a lot of they know they're kind of fucked. So why play the game? Why be on the plantation?
Yeah.
They should keep their resources to themselves. They should try to get healthier, try to get a career, and just do things that make them happy. You don't need a girl to be happy, and you don't need a lot of friends to be happy. Why don't you develop some hobbies, something in your life that actually makes you happy? I've talked to a lot of man whores in my time, Greg.
Oh, I know.
And a lot of them said that, before they found who they're dating or married to now, and these are people they've been with for over, let's say, 5 years without being divorced, maybe the girl's in it to win. Maybe she's just not in it to stay long enough for the money. Anyways, a lot of them said that the sex was at first nice. It felt great. But then they noticed that it never fulfilled them. Eventually they got tired of the sex. Eventually they felt empty and kind of scumbaggish about what they were doing.
Yeah, I've heard men, even coworkers that are men say stuff like that too.
And they realized that that's not what they wanted after all.
Right.
Some of them, not all of them that I talked to, but some of them said it was a way to deal with their pain, distractions. They didn't realize that they were kind of scumbags, and how maybe they treated women or how maybe they acted sometimes. They weren't the best with it. And when they realized their mistake, they became better men. But I just don't think it's worth playing the game at all.
Right.
Don't give them your future. But even if that kid is not yours, you still have to raise it, because the state doesn't decide what's best for the parent. They decide what's the best interest for the child.
Yeah.
I would rather be put in jail, though. And some men have done that. They were in contempt, like civil contempt, because they refused to pay child support for a kid that wasn't theirs. And I understand what they mean. I understand the mom needs money, but she slept with other men that she knew he wasn't the father. Like, it was on this TV show with a black judge. It was a female, and she said to the man, "You went to prison for not paying child support." And he said, "Yeah, I refuse to pay it because the child I know isn't mine, and the child thinks that's his father." And the judge, before she reads the DNA results, now keep in mind the child's like 17. This dude spent like 5 to 10 years in prison because he refused. And the kid thinks that this dude is a dick and that it's his father, and he just refuses to be one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what the guy does is he's like, Your Honor, I they garnished my wages. I spent many, many years in prison for the lies this bitch is told. He didn't say bitch, but he clearly wanted to. He clearly wanted to hurt her too. And I think he should have had every right to. I would have. I
Yeah.
don't care what anyone thinks. I would have probably fucking hurt somebody. And he's found not to be the father. He's not the father. So he's spent like 5 to 10 years in jail or prison, wherever it was, for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge asked her, "You knew all along he wasn't the father. Why would you do this to your child?" And she had no answer. You know, the kid started crying because he realized, you know, that's not his real dad.
Right.
And the dude wanted nothing to do with him. He said, like, listen, I feel bad for you, but I'm not your father. I never tried to be. Like, I don't want you. And the mother wrote her kid, and, you know, that's why a lot of men are in prison right now. Because of women.
Yeah.
And how they were raised. Like, if you know he's not the father, why would you do that to somebody? That's just fucking evil. In my opinion, it's nothing but evil. Like, why would you do that? It's nothing but laziness and evil.
Yeah, and it's probably a way to get back to that person for some reason.
Or she can't remember everybody she slept with.
Yeah, that's true.
It's disgusting, Greg. It's very disgusting.
Yeah.
You know? Like, how can you look yourself in the face and lie to your own kid? I don't get it. How can you do that?
And that's like the lowest thing that you know they can do.
Well, yeah, because your kid is like, hey, you know, do you know who my father is? Like, you know, every person needs a father. And, you know, she lied. She's like, no, I don't know who he is, you know, it's that guy, you know, he just refuses to be a dad. And some of them, unfortunately, they'll have to pay, even if they're not the, you know, parent or father or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But, you know, Greg, I already know that I would probably be thrown in jail because I would refuse to pay. I just couldn't do it. And, you know, some parents are so desperate for grandchildren. Even if this woman lied and cheated on her son and treated him super badly, the parents will still want to babysit and be in that kid's life.
Right.
I would never, ever talk to my father again or my family again if they did that to me. To me, that's the ultimate disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're supposed to be on my side. If you know it's not my child and you know she cheated on me, what the fuck are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that to me? I don't understand. Well, what do you know? Another package isn't here. That's funny.
Of course. Or it's hidden behind something, or
Well, you know, I already decided today that I'm just gonna do what I can do. You know, like instructions Castari Q Garage. You know, sometimes you can only do so much.
yeah.
And if they don't like it, they can replace you. So just say, all right, then replace me. I've done that before, and they never did. It's like, all right, like, replace me. Like, I ain't gonna fight you on it. If you don't like me and I'm that replaceable, like, hey, do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna yell, cause any harm. Like, if that's how you feel, like, then that's how you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I already got shit missing. It's amazing to me. I find it funny. Because here I am, wasting time trying to figure this stuff out, and like it's gone. So
I know it's
it's
like
not here. I think I've done 11 so far.
11.
Yep. Yep, not even here. But you know what? It's whatever.
Yeah, you can't. You just look for it for a certain length of time. Can't find it, move on, and
That's what I'm gonna do. It just
and if it shows back up, then you deal with it later, if that.
I just leave it.
Yeah.
I don't do it. If I find it later on while I'm on the other side of the county, I won't do it. Because it should have been in a place where I can find it early on. But
Right.
They didn't want to do that, so that's on them, not me.
Yeah, it's too bad they don't have like some sort of an organized system, but they just seem like they just throw it in the truck to get it done.
They do, and the truck to just get it done.
Yeah.
Not my problem. Not my problem, not my fault.
No.
This is what it is. This is what it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of always being mad, always being angry, always wanting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always wanting to smoke. Hey, it's your guy just turned out. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, Greg. Greg?
Yeah.
Why are you manipulative? Oh, wait, no, I forgot we're on a podcast. I forgot. Like, we were just talking normally. Just in case you're wondering, that's just a lot of our conversations go. I just talk about some and see if you'll can relate or. Why don't you tell me what you've been doing lately and what your thoughts are on some things lately? I don't want to be the only one to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, I've been keeping up with the news, of course. We were talking earlier about that craft in the water and then all the politics going on in this world.
Well, what else happened a few days ago?
With me personally, not much.
Back in Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago? Well, right now we're dealing with all this crime.
No, Greg, a specific thing that happened on June 19th.
Well, that's basically what happened.
Why don't you talk about it?
June 19th, of course, there's a lot of celebrations that do occur throughout the Chicago area. And
If you don't remember, it's okay. I can't tell you.
oh, I know. No, I was
The shootings.
well, I was talking about the crime and stuff that happened.
Gotcha.
That kind of led into that.
I see. All right.
And it's basically celebrations for everybody to get together and stuff. And we had a couple of incidents throughout the Chicago area and even some of the suburbs where it kind of got out of hand, fights started happening, and then it led into shootings and various crimes. And since our mayor, we have a brand new mayor, if those that don't know, he's only been mayor just for a few weeks now, and statistically, it just came out yesterday that 30% of the shootings have increased since this mayor's taken over. And over this past weekend, since for the June 19th, there were about 50 depending on who you listen to, really, probably between 50 to 70 different types of shootings that have occurred, 13 deaths, and
Like 100 something injured.
yeah, 100 injuries. From I think that's the final total as of right now, unless something comes up later. But that's as of right now. And everybody is just up in arms right now, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. We have a lot of religious organizations, nonprofit organizations, getting out to the communities to try to find ways to get this shootings under control. And everybody's just wondering what the hell is this mayor going to do? He says he's got a plan, and everybody's like, well, where's this plan? Well, it's too early. He just came on board, give him some time. So you got that going on. Then on top,
Listen, Greg, they need to get rid of the gun laws.
yeah. And then on top of all this, they're in a search for a new superintendent of the Chicago Police Department.
Well, what they need to do with that is they need an overhaul, because that department is corrupt and, no offense, utterly trash.
Yeah.
I don't like the Chicago PD. They have a long history of corruptness, treating people like trash, and just not really being all that good to people.
No, that's true. And so right now, there are 5 candidates, but the mayor wants to narrow down to 3. And the one that's currently taken over right now is just temporary. He doesn't want the job. He's actually on retirement. So once he gets finished, he's gone. And then we'll see who the new superintendent is. And they have strict rules they're going by. They got a committee doing this. And one of the rules is they have to be Chicago police related, either retired currently or somehow affiliated with the police department. They're not taking anybody from the outside of the area.
Well, that's their problem.
Yeah. So it's going to be internal. So again, it goes back to the corruption, and if this person's been, dealing with that. So they're hoping, I think, after the 4th of July, they'll have a selection made.
Personally, I don't really think it's going to matter. The crime's going to continue. It doesn't matter what they do. Because they want to keep putting in stupid nations and stupid laws. And until they do that, well, honestly, they just really don't matter, Greg.
No, believe me, I totally agree, because it's all band-aids to me.
They don't want to be tougher and smarter with the police. They don't want to do anything about the infrastructure or low income areas.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to do anything about the gun shootings because they're all black. They want the blacks to kill each other, Greg. Hey, oh no, that's racist. But I swear to God, that's the truth. They want blacks to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they've never done anything about it? It's been going on for years. It's not just a modern fucking thing.
Yeah, and it's not just Chicago. It's all over the country.
Well, it's St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's Detroit, Chicago. Well, really, to me, it's Chicago and Detroit that are the main ones. Well, I heard St. Louis was really bad, even though it's a smaller city.
Oh yeah, and when I used to live out there, I saw it too.
That's where they have the arching bridge, right?
Yep.
That arching thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few other ones, but I don't really feel like going into too much detail about that. Because they all have harsh gun laws, and nothing ever changes. It's always the same people being killed. They don't give a shit, and the police are getting worse because they keep hiring worse people because nobody wants to be a cop anymore. The wage isn't worth it. They have strict requirements that are bullshit, so a lot of people that could be good cops can't pass. It's just going to keep getting worse from here, and there's going to become more homeless people. There's going to become more incel. There's going to become less people giving birth or even having sex at all. There's going to be less relationships. There's going to be a lot of old people with nobody to take care of them, and a lot of jobs are still being shipped overseas, and only the shitty ones are remaining here.
Right.
The system is shit. They want you to pretty much work yourself to death or work until the day you die. They don't like giving you days off. They don't want to give you any benefits. They don't want to give you any pensions. They want you to remain poor. It's just kind of what it is, and nobody fucking seems to care. It just riles me up, because I've experienced a lot of it. And there's always some snide comment or remark, like there's this page called Change My View.
Okay.
And it's got, I hate the poor because they're stupid, they're disgusting, and they beg for stuff. Or they're loud and annoying, or they have kids they can't afford. And I'm like, well, that does happen, yes. Kind of fucked up you say you hate them. But you know what? I think that dude's a scumbag, and I think he says that because he knows he can. I think a lot of people who hate the poor and idolize the rich, they realize they can be like that, and they realize they're most likely on their way to that. That's why they're angry. That's why, they have all these issues with the poor. Well, more people are becoming poor. More people are living in vehicles, and they just want to blame homelessness on drugs and mental illness. Well, maybe there's a reason why people are taking drugs. Maybe there's a reason why mental illness is going down because there's no future in this country. That's why the military can't recruit anybody. They're having a lot of recruitment problems. Maybe if it was like the old military where you stop pandering to fucking retards and you actually punish them like they should be punished, maybe we would have a stronger army. And not end up like the Russian army. But no, you gotta pander to the 1%. And if you say anything, oh, you're a bigot, you're this bad. But, well, that's why we're gonna lose upcoming wars.
Right.
And Greg, they call a lot of Americans fat and lazy and stupid. You wanna know why it's like that?
Why?
Because they don't really have a choice, Greg. They're working most of the time. They don't really have time to go to the gym. And Greg, healthy food is very expensive.
Oh, I know.
So when you take out the healthy food and you have little time to cook it, what does that leave? That leaves, when you get rid of healthy food, what do you have, Greg?
Nothing.
Well, in a sense, yes. You have fast food places, and you have places that you don't even really want to eat at. Like, I don't think you're getting what I was saying, but you're right in a way. You have nothing. Just a waste of money. You have nothing. But, take me, for example, Greg. I work all the time. The only time I have off is Sunday. I fucking sleep all day. Because I don't have a lot of time to sleep at where I work now. Right. I go in at 6 or 7 in the morning, and I stay out until I don't get out until 6 or 6:30 at night. And by the time that happens, I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah. And I knew people that where I used to work had 2 jobs. They work 8 hours there and then go to the next job for another 8 hours.
I'm not fucking doing that. I'd rather die.
They work 16-hour days, and I don't know how they do it, but
I refuse to do that.
Yeah.
I don't even have any time to do that, Greg. Because FedEx takes literally all fucking day.
Right.
You know, Greg, I just can't wait until the day I can walk out and leave. I'll be smiling. Like each time I left twice before. Once because I moved, and another because I lost my DOT
Hmm.
because it ended. I was happy both times. Now, don't get me wrong. I did miss the customers and the dogs, but I didn't miss anything else. And I only went back out of necessity, not because I wanted to. Because a lot of jobs just aren't paying well in general.
Yeah, and they got all this experience. You got to have qualifications, and they still don't pay you enough.
I know.
And then all you just do is just go to work, and you get all stressed out and burned out.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's what happened to
They
me.
have a thriving population.
Right.
Sarcasm, Greg. They don't want you to be thriving, Greg. Why would they?
No, they
They
don't.
don't want you to be intelligent. They don't want you to be smart. They don't want you to be able to think for yourself. Come on now. Why would we want that?
Yeah.
You know, I might skip work tomorrow, Greg.
Oh, you might?
Yeah, you know, just I'm tired. I just almost
Well, like you said, sometimes you need to take, a mental day and just sit back and relax.
Yeah, they don't want you to take mental days, Greg.
I know.
And it makes me laugh. I ain't gonna lie to you. I laugh because it's the truth. They're like, "Why are you taking a day off?" Blah blah blah, and it's like, because I'm tired and I don't even know how to word it. They don't want you to have it. They don't want you to do it.
No.
They want you to work until your bones ache, until you're tired. And it's very exhausting. If I'm being honest with you, Greg, everything is very exhausting.
Yeah.
One of the things that makes me want to quit is using this rental truck, you know?
Oh, I know. I can imagine.
I'm also not going in at 6 in the morning to start my route. Would you do that?
No. It's nice if you can do that and get out early, but if you're still staying out late, it's like, what's the point?
That's what I'm saying. I would still be staying out late. I don't
Yeah.
see the point.
So I still go in later.
Dude, what the fuck? You know, I'll do my duty, but sometimes I try to go as slow as possible to get fired, but they're just like, oh, your route takes a while, you'll be fine. The problem with my route is that it takes too long. Like, I'm just fucking. Yeah, I like my customers and I like the convenience of what I have here, but I just don't think it's worth it anymore, you know?
Yeah, and I wish they honestly would put another person and just split your route.
I know. But they can't hire anybody, correct?
No.
They're having problems nationwide finding people. Not just my contractor.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. And then you hear what can happen with UPS soon.
Or GPS.
I've heard there could be a strike or something.
There will be a strike and we'll probably get their stuff and that's probably when I'll quit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Just because, like, we can barely handle the volume we get now, you know?
Yeah.
It just makes me not want to do it at all. Like, we're barely handling what we have now, like, you know?
Right.
It's just a frustrating endeavor, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and like I said, there's nothing you can do, and you just have to get through it.
I know. You know, when I made that video 2 days ago talking about suicide watch, you know, I was having some of my own thoughts, and you know, of course, I want to live and you know do what I can to move forward in life, but it's becoming harder and harder.
Yeah.
It's like I wonder where you'll be in 5 years, Greg.
Yeah, those are things, you don't know.
Hopefully, I'm not still doing what I, you know, am now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could survive living in my truck for 5 more years, Greg. You know, I'm almost at 2, and it's I think it's been the most challenging 2 years of my life. It makes you more tired. It makes you more exhausted. It just makes you laugh more. Makes you more sad. Like there's a lot of things it does to you
Hmm.
that you just kind of gotta go along with it. You know.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part because in the back of your mind, you don't want to be in this forever.
Yeah. Uh, you know, part of me wishes I could live forever. You know.
Oh yeah.
So I can know everything that I do forever, that I can say forever, but I can't. And, you know, maybe eventually you wouldn't want to, you know, because if life is boring now, imagine a life where you can't fucking die.
Especially with all the crap going on in this world and
You know,
everything. It's
imagine where you can't die by a nuclear holocaust or disease.
yeah.
You know, imagine where the only way you can die is if you will yourself to not exist. You know?
Right.
And could you imagine, you know, living until the Earth goes and the next species that lives on Earth before the sun goes thinks you're like some god?
Yeah, and then it's like another new chapter. It's like, okay, this is gone. Now you're coming over on this side. And it's like it never ends.
Well, then you'll see the sun explode and the Earth explode, and then you're just moving through space, you know?
Yeah.
Um, you know, what do you do then, Greg? What do you do then? What would you do then?
I don't know. I probably just try to.
I would just fade.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would say.
You lived as a god, you lived amongst as a human, you were an immortal, and you were mortal at once upon a time. You know, another thing you have to compete with the fact is that sometimes you have to compete with the fact that maybe the time you spent with parents or a parent is coming to an end.
Yeah.
And you'll have to live with that. You know, maybe it's just not something you want to see happen, but you know, I feel like I've spent all the time that I could with either my mom or my dad. You know, I feel like maybe not that I'm moving on, but it feels like either they have or sometimes it feels like they're already dead, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are in that predicament, Greg, like, yeah, you know they're still alive, but, you know, you barely talk to them. It just feels like, it just honestly just feels like they're dead. That's what it feels like. Like you had your times, you had all the photos that you could and everything that went on, but now you can't have any of it anymore. You know, that's just how it feels.
Yeah, I can imagine how that feels.
It feels terrible, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like a robot. You feel like whatever you do now doesn't really matter, and you feel like maybe it can play as well. Maybe you didn't want it to be that way, but maybe it's meant to be that way, and hopefully, maybe someone who's listening to this at at this moment can understand that. You know, they can feel it in their bones as well.
Right.
And they'll know they're not the only ones going through their parents either being dead or being gone, you know, from their lives. Maybe they were scumbags. Maybe they were decent people but fell into a cult or they got on drugs or they're dating some bitch or Dick, Tom, and Harry, you know? It just really depends on how you want to classify it, right?
Right.
I think one of the worst feelings ever, I think one of the worst feelings ever with dealing with the type of life that I live or, you know, that similar people live with not really any family or anybody to talk to, you know. All you do is work and that's it. You know, I feel like the worst thing about it is not the fact that you're even homeless, but to me, I think the worst thing about it is the emptiness and the boredom, not so much the loneliness. The loneliness does suck, don't get me wrong, but it seems like the thing that bothers me the most, at least, is the emptiness. You know, there's no fulfillment from it.
Right.
There's no fulfillment. There's no anything. It feels like there's no gratification in life. And that's one of the things that Pastor kept bringing up. He said these young men will have no fulfillment in life, and it will continue. It will get worse, not any better. And you know what? Maybe he had a point.
Yeah, I could see that point too.
You know, he most likely did have a point. But
Yeah.
you know, a lot of these men are going to continue to scoot up schools. They're going to continue to attack and do things I don't even want to talk about. Not that it's right, but, you know, in their minds, you know, nobody's owed anything, I guess, but
yeah,
it's just funny how in other countries you can get health care. You don't have to die in debt from medical care. You can actually get things done. You can go to college for free. But they don't want that in the United States. I just don't get it. It's because there would be less greed.
right.
And they don't actually care about the people. Just this one for you. All right. 4178. Yep, that's me. Perfect. Have a good day, brother. Of course. You know, until that is solved and we can do something about what else is happening in America, more people are just going to kill themselves. More women are going to get raped and assaulted and murdered. More indigenous women are going to keep being killed. More racist acts against blacks are going to keep happening.
Yeah.
More police killings are going to happen. More preventable medical deaths are going to keep happening. There's a lot of things that are preventable and could be fixed are not gonna be fixed. You know, a lot more people are gonna become homeless. A lot more people are gonna die in the streets. Eventually, you know, a lot of people are gonna die.
Right.
And you know what? Maybe rightfully so. I know it's not right to say. It's very fucked up to say. But you know what? Maybe then Americans now will actually push for some of these fucking challenges. Maybe they'll make term limits for senators. Maybe this, maybe that. But until something is done, well, it don't really matter what we're talking about, right? Because until then, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me the most about Americans. They're prideful, they're stupid, they're fat, they're arrogant, and they just don't change, no matter how much you try to tell them.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But, you know, whatever works for them, I guess. I just am disgusted to be an American, and I don't find any pride in this country. There's nothing to be prideful about. I mean, 60 years ago, we were still hanging blacks.
Yeah.
You know, slavery was only 200 years ago. It may seem like a long time, but that's like, what, two grandmas living 100 years?
Yeah,
That's
I was just gonna say that it seems like a long time, but it hasn't.
And then Jim Crow ended maybe in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it seemed to end, but you know, it probably went on beyond that. We'll keep having illegal immigration. We'll keep having political figures keep making promises, among other things, that keep getting voted, even though they never fall through. Because they want to keep us divided, and that's how stupid Americans are. Democrats and Republicans are on the same side.
Delivery instructions.
Oh, I know.
Customary queue. Front door. Delivered to Brown House with 3-car garage turnaround.
It's not even going fast. I'm just taking my sweet old time. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 87 stops left.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's still a lot of stops.
I don't even know if I'm going to finish them all. I don't know if I'm going to finish them all. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seems to be like one bad thing after another. You know?
Yeah.
If you ever want a good documentary, whoever's watching this, why don't you look up The Highway of Tears? About a bunch of missing indigenous women who went missing along, I can't remember, I think I-70 or something, and the killer was never found. I think like over 30 were killed. They weren't all native, but a lot of native women were found.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I mentioned them first. You know, just like the Zodiac was never found.
Yeah.
Dude, why the fuck is there so many people here? Like, I already know their package is fucked because I saw it wet.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm just fucking tired of that shit. no, pup. Yeah, yeah. I know. Okay. What did you order? Yeah.
My name's on it, or my son,
Cooper?
Oh, that's Cooper. I don't know what he ordered. Why?
I don't know if something leaked on it because there's no shelves. Things fall over, and they don't pack it the best. So I don't know if it was from the actual package or if something like below it leaked. Or yeah, that worked. There you go. Oh, I know.
There's something not liquid in it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Looks like something else. Yeah, looks like something else was leaking.
Yeah, so I think it's just something.
Is there anything else in it? Oh, that one right there.
There should be it's just 3D printer printer.
Yeah.
That would be something else.
Oh, I do. I was just making sure. Of course. I always want to be positive about it. Have a good day, man. There you go. All right, next is we're going for 2000.
At least that one wasn't too bad.
Indeed. You know, Greg?
Yeah.
I like you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You know, I'm gonna have to go soon because, unfortunately, I am on County Route 4, but I'm at not that far down the road. So, you know, that's why we've been able to, talk like we have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We should be able to talk for a few more minutes because, you know, a lot of the stops are country, so, it'll take me a little bit to get down the driveways.
Okay.
I'm just laughing because I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish today. Every day I feel that way and I just get super stressed. Well,
I know.
it is what it is. You know, I'm surprised I've never gotten nicotine poisoning, honestly. With how much nicotine I've done in my life, Greg,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I used to do 8 cigars a day. I used to vape all day. I used to do a lot of weed. Edibles, I was never able to do too much because, let me tell you, dude, being fucked out of your head, being fucked out of your head is not a good experience. You know, people make it sound cool and fun, but
Yeah, that's a lot.
let me tell you, buddy, it's not as fun as people make it sound, you know?
Oh, I know.
My scanner just disappeared. Never mind, it's right there. And let me tell you, when you quit smoking, the symptoms are really bad, especially if you were a severe smoker.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but laugh, buddy. You know, I'm just not rushing, man.
No, don't.
Why didn't you finish? And I'm like, because everything fell over, and I wasted a lot of time looking for it. Everything fell over. I don't know what to tell you. I can't get to my shit. Not my fucking problem.
Yeah, it's got to be the worst.
It is the worst, Greg.
And you say that truck doesn't have shelves, right?
No, so I gotta spend a lot of time looking.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting tired of it. Like, really fucking tired of it. It's one of the reasons why I'm always... Oh my fucking God. It's one of the reasons why I'm always tired.
Yeah.
Just always tired.
Yeah, you don't realize how the stress and everything affects your body.
I think I'm pretty aware of it.
I know.
Maybe not at first. But when it catches up to you, I just gotta say it never really quite feels the same after that.
Mm-hmm.
Until you leave.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's a combination of things. Stress, uncertainty, no future. Like, there's a lot of issues with what can happen, what is, what's not. Just so many things, you know. It can all strike at once.
Yeah.
It looks like it might be time for us to cut an episode short, just because I know that I don't know how long you're able to pause them before you lose them, you know?
Yeah, that I don't know. But we are sitting in an hour and 13 minutes.
Maybe it'll just have to be a short episode.
Yeah, we could always do another one.
True. But I think maybe we're just going to do a quick one regardless. But, you know, my name's Tim.
And I'm Greg.
And we're Reality Duo. Welcome to Reality Duo, and goodbye from Reality Duo. We will talk to you later, and I want to thank you for tuning in once again.
Yep. And you all have a great rest of your day.
You too. I'll call you later, Greg.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
peace out, brother. Peace out, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.